Assassin, the king of stealth and single target nuking. And that is exactly what you should be doing in the team. It is your role. Those specific enemies that everybody hates, the crow enemies, the Oni archers, you need to be focusing them down, trying to stay stealth as quickly as possible, and manage your cooldowns very, very effectively, because this class is probably the most dependent on its cooldowns. Let's go ahead and start with the techniques. First off, for the ability, we do not run Toxic Vanish. We run Group Vanish. Why? It is a lower cooldown. This one is 50 seconds, whereas Toxic Vanish is 62 seconds. It does stealth your teammates. As for the Toxic, you might think, oh, well, why not run this? The poison is nice. Look at this one, Opportunist. You deal 50% more bonus damage to staggered targets. So if you poison them and then you assassinate them, you can do some bonus damage. That's great and all, but as I'll discuss later, you need this. You can't not have experienced assassin. It's very, very critical. For perk 1, it is tempting to run critical hit because you get 30% more damage on all of your assassinations always. That's great and all. But we're actually going to run Super Strike. This is very important for single target nuking. Look, they show a crow guy right here. And if you're playing on Nightmare difficulty and he's at full HP, you will not be able to one-shot stealth attack him just with this. You need this. I'm going to focus crow guys. Okay, nice. Nice, just a fast assassinate. I'm okay with the watches. I mean, then again, I don't know. I haven't rerolled to have 25% across the board. I have 23.4% stealth attack damage on the blowgun, 24.8 on the charm, and 21.8 on the smoke bomb. Pretty good, but, you know, obviously not maximum. I don't have infinite honor. In fact, I'm broke. I only have 500. I'm so done grinding in this game. But yeah, you'll find more consistency if you get the Super Strike. And here's the thing. You're never going to ult. This is the one class where you never ult with. Shadowstorm, it is good for only one thing. There's only one situation in which I use Shadowstorm. I use Shadowstorm if we're about to lose a point and I need to get there and I'm not going to be able to get there fast enough just by running. Because you could teleport really long distances with this thing. You can go through walls. It's pretty cool. But what you're actually going to be using your resolve for is this. It'll ensure that you can single target nuke more effectively. Now, you're not going to be able to one-shot everything in the game. You can't one-shot like those Oni halberd guys on Nightmare. You can't one-shot the purple spinny mace guys on Nightmare. Even if you stacked it with this and if you used a weakened dart beforehand, it would not be enough. Then again, once again, I don't have 25% stealth damage on all 3 items. But yeah, I've found that this is much more consistent and it gives you something to use a resolve on, since the ult just really isn't worth it. All right, and yeah, no, you'll get way more value out of this than just decreasing class ability cooldown, okay? Next, stealth attacks are faster and quieter. We don't care about the quieter, we care about the faster. This is good for 2 reasons. Number 1, because the stealth attacks are faster, if you pop a smoke bomb and there's a bunch of squishy enemies that you can one-shot with regular assassinations, and by the way, this affects the Super Strike as well. This will also be faster and quieter. Then that means you can hit more enemies before the smoke bomb wears off, which means you can get more kills. So it's higher DPS in that regard.
Ghosts played found its mark.
Look at them drop. And if you're playing Nightmare Survival and the Hwachas are firing at you, if you assassinate something off point and you don't have this active, you are going to get destroyed by the Hwachas. You will not have enough time to get out of the way. But if you're using this, you will be able to kill the enemy and very quickly roll out of the way. You'll be okay. I'm dead. I'm super dead. Yeah. Very, very important. All right. Silent running. Yeah, this is trash. Don't ever run this. This, I tried to make this work. I tried toxic damage builds. I tried poison dart spam on specific enemies, but it's less about this being bad. I mean, this is not bad. You know, you could make a build where you try to nuke the like halberd guys, like the super tanky Onis, and you just add this 50% bonus damage into your build, but you just cannot not run this. You need this. Lastly, once again, we're not using ult, so we don't care about Shadowstorm. We are going to run Chain Vanish. Successfully assassinating an enemy while vanished reactivates Vanish and refreshes the duration. This makes it so that you stealth, you assassinate a target, and you will immediately re-stealth. Now, it is worth mentioning the cooldown for this ability is not going to start ticking until you've used up all of these extra stealth. So it's not like, oh, you could stealth, kill someone, re-stealth, kill someone, re-stealth again, as I'll explain later. And then, like, your cooldown is benefiting this whole time. You can see the cooldown didn't, like, jump until he killed that last guy. You have to actually use up all the stealths before the cooldown starts ticking. Otherwise, it'd probably be pretty freaking OP. But, I mean, it's already really, really nice. This is a very nice ability. An assassin, definitely run it. We're only using one legendary, so we don't need this perk. All right? Let's go ahead and talk about the gear. So, first off, this is a summary of all the gear. You can see it right here. Now, it's worth mentioning there are some alternatives you can run. This isn't set in stone. So let's go ahead and talk about it. Water Katana. First off, this build definitely revolves around the ability, just like I said at the beginning. This class is very, very dependent on its cooldowns, so you definitely want to have ability cooldown reduction on the Katana. As I've said in all my other videos, Water Stance is the best stance in the game. It is the most versatile, and you will be able to deal with just about anything except Spearmen. Way of the Flame will shred through Spearmen just fine. That's why we run it as the bottom modification, or perk, whatever. Yeah, we run it as the perk Way of the Flame. Now, melee damage, you don't have to run melee damage. You could run melee resolve gain if you prefer, but I just felt like I needed to do some damage in case, you know, I need to whittle down those Oni, or to kill off the squisher enemies faster so we can get our cooldowns faster and resolve faster, as I'll explain in a little bit. And ability cooldown reduction, self-explanatory. We want to get our stealth back as quickly as possible. Way of the Flame, it will cut through guards. It is unblockable. It's a nice little damage bonus, and since we're getting our cooldowns back very, very quickly, you will have very high uptime on this, at least when you need it. I mean, you're not going to be popping it very often because you won't need it very often, but whenever you do need it, it'll be there for you. All right, blowgun. The biggest reason why we run blowgun isn't actually because of the blowgun itself. It's because of the stealth attack damage. You must stack stealth attack damage for assassin. Like, you have to ask yourself, what does the assassin bring to the team? And one of the things you bring to the team is nuking the targets that everybody hates, that's really, really annoying and you're afraid to get close to, or they're jumping around all the time, like the Oni archers or the crow demons. You want to be able to take them down very quickly. You need stealth attack damage. Stack it. Very, very important. The blowgun gives you stealth attack damage. None of the other, the regular bow doesn't give that to you. The bombs don't give that to you. You need it, okay? So make sure you run it. Now, as for the other one, I run status effect damage. You might think, what? Well, there's no burning. They're like, why would you run status effect damage or something? Look, it increases damage of fire and poison effects. Now, one thing I might do is if there's an enemy and I can't one-shot him, maybe my stealth's on cooldown, maybe I don't have the resolve for the double damage assassination, then what I might do, or it's just a super tanky enemy and I just don't have those options anyway, then I'll take my blowgun and I'll just literally spam poison darts into that enemy. Like, I might shoot 5 into one enemy and their stamina damage, their stamina will get nuked. It does so much stamina damage.
Into the shadows. Oni breathed into final breath.
Nice job. So this increases the stamina damage. You could run duration, but I mean, like, I really only use the poison to burst something. I don't just put poison on something and let it sit. If you were running Toxic Vanish, no, I mean, even then you would still run damage for more poison. You want to nuke the stamina as quickly as possible. Of course, we don't care about stealth. And stealth attack damage, as I said. Now, this one is debatable. This one, there's flexibility here. I run the shield piercing ammo because I want to kill the basic Oni spear and shield enemies. I say basic, the black and red ones, not the purple ones. The purple ones you can't one-shot. But the black and red ones, I can one-shot them with the super assassinate if I hit them with a weakened dart, because you can stealth, shoot a weakened dart, and it will not break your stealth. The enemy takes 25% more damage. And then if I do the super assassinate, then I will one-shot them. There we go. Now it's super assassinate. The thing is, you only have 3 weakened darts. You need to be very careful with them, and your stealth doesn't last super long, so you kind of need to get this show on the road. And I usually use shield piercing ammo so I can get through the shield quickly, so I don't have to worry about aiming around it, like for their foot while they're wobbling a little bit, you know, like, or moving around, etc. I want to be able to hit them clean, so I like shield piercing ammo for that. But that being said, hallucination darts are also extremely good, arguably even better. Situationally, though, you can have 2 of these at a time, and if you shoot, honestly, it's not about the hallucination. Hallucination's really not great. It's overrated. Like I know it's really really colorful and it feels great to assassinate one enemy and all of a sudden like every single freaking enemy on point is purple, but it actually kind of sucks. I don't like it because then they become a lot less predictable. They're attacking each other and they're all doing it all at once, and if they've got AoE attacks, then there's a lot more attacks on point. It's infuriating. Dude, this is why I don't like Hysteria. I really don't like Hysteria because then they all get a lot more aggressive because they're attacking each other. I really don't like Hysteria. I don't like it. It was really cool at first, like everything's turning purple. Run Chain Vanish, but we'll get to that in a moment. But yeah, we don't run hallucination dots aren't actually good for the hallucination itself. It's because when you shoot an enemy and they hallucinate, they're kind of stunned for a while. They're staggered for a while. They go through this really, really long animation where they're infected with the hallucination. It leaves them vulnerable for a very long time. So you could save this for those big Oni Halberd guys that have insanely high HP. You shoot one of them with this, and they go through a really long, like, I don't know, 5 to 10 second animation, and you or your team, you can just wail on them while they're doing that. They're very, very vulnerable. Let me show you what makes hallucination darts so strong. Not because I care about them attacking other enemies, but because it stuns them for a long time. It holds them in place for a really long while. I was able to get like 2.5 water stance combos off of them right there. Very, very handy. That is very, very good perk, perhaps even better. But to be honest, one of the reasons why I'm running this one is because it's my higher stealth attack damage one, and I'm so poor on honor. Like, I do have this hallucination dart one, but it has 19.3% stealth attack damage. Honor, dude, the grind sucks, and I'm sick of grinding honor. I'm sick of grinding, so I just roll this. But yeah, the shield piercing ammo is pretty nice too if you want to more reliably land your darts. Okay, now the charm. Yeah, I would say you kind of need the assassin charm. Actually, I don't remember. Can the stealth charm have stealth attack damage as well? I don't actually remember. Oh, it can. Okay, so you can still have stealth attack damage without the assassin charm. But I will say one of the things that makes the assassin charm so amazing is this perk right here, Chain Vanish. Successfully assassinating an enemy while vanished reactivates Vanish and refreshes the duration. Stacks with Chain Vanish perk. What does that mean? That means that this perk right here, Chain Vanish, remember we were talking about it. So the guy stealths, he assassinates this guy, immediately re-stealth. Guess what? Now, because we have that perk in our charm, you could kill that guy and you would re-stealth again. So that means you get an extra one, which is really, really cool. That gives you time to roam around a little bit, pick off 3 specific targets. Target priority is a big thing for Assassin. You have to know what to focus. You don't just stealth kill whatever the heck you want. You stealth kill the targets that you feel would be most valuable, but the ones that you can actually get. You know, you're making those judgment calls constantly. You're always picking and choosing your targets to actually do your assassinations on. Now, as for the other perk, I do run cooldown reduction on kill. There's really only 2 worth running, either cooldown reduction or cooldown reduction on kill. I do want to reduce the damage of my ghost weapons as much as possible because I am running the kunai and the stealth. The stealth bomb the smoke bomb I want to reduce the cooldown as much as possible because it is a pretty big cooldown, and the kunai I want to reduce so I can throw it as frequently as possible to reduce my cooldowns as much as possible. Like I said, the assassin is a very cooldown dependent class, so you definitely want to reduce cooldowns as much as possible. We don't care about damage increase. You're not a Ronin. You don't need to stack ghost weapon damage. It's not worth putting status effect damage here. We only do it on the blowgun because we don't have any other options. Don't run stealth. Not worth it. We're not running Toxic Vanish. The Vanish lasts long enough as it is. You don't need to increase the duration. No, we're not going to run Assassinate from above damage. We don't need to build our character around going out of our way to get on a rooftop, to jump down, and then to go back to getting up on a rooftop and jumping down again. It's not worth it. This perk is not worth running whatsoever. Don't run it. But yeah, you don't necessarily have to run on kill. You can run cooldown reduction. I just ran on kill because it was the first one I got and because I'm broke on honor. Next, the ghost weapon, Spirit Kunai. I run this on everything except Hunter. Absolutely insane. Now, it is worth mentioning that I do have a different modification set up on the assassin one. And honestly, this is I changed it for the samurai as well. So I do run melee damage. You don't have to. You could run cooldown reduction as well. Well, assuming you haven't seen my other videos, let me explain what Spirit Kunai does first. It is the legendary of the build. I do run it on 2 other characters. Getting a kill with the kunai lowers all cooldowns on your character by 15 seconds. So what does that mean? You whittle a character down, like you weaken an Oni down to like, I don't know, 10% or whatever. You finish him off with a Spirit Kunai. All of your cooldowns, which means your ability, Way of the Flame, Spirit Kunai itself, by the way, and your Smoke Bomb will all have 15 seconds wiped from their cooldown. And by the way, we're running super massive, so we throw only 2 kunai, but they're stronger. If you hit 2 enemies, if you kill 2 enemies with those kunai, which you won't do very often on Nightmare or Raid, but sometimes you might. If you kill 2 enemies with it, you'll restore 30 seconds to all your cooldowns, which means you get your kunai back immediately, by the way, which is crazy. So yeah, this is really, really good for a class that is very heavily dependent on its cooldowns. We want something that reduces the cooldowns as much as possible, which is this. And this is one of the reasons why on the Charm, we are running the cooldown reduction on kill, okay? Now for the kunai, you don't have to run melee damage. Because you'll be spending a lot of time in stealth, especially if you manage your cooldowns well, but sometimes you'll mess up your kunai, okay? Sometimes you need to help your team whittling down an Oni, so I think it's good to have melee damage, but if you wanted to, you could run the cooldown reduction instead. It's a legendary, so it would go up to 15% guaranteed, which means 4.5 seconds off the cooldown, which doesn't sound like much, but like, okay, let's talk about this one. Cooldown reduction on kill. This is a must. You must have this one. This is insane. This thing is freaking insane. I'm running this on my Samurai now. I still run the damage increase version on the Ronin because it affects the ghost weapon damage for like overall ghost weapon damage, which is good. All ghost weapon damage goes up because the bomb pack, the Way of the Flame, the kunai, and for what it's worth, the caltrops are all ghost weapons, as I explained in that video. I would definitely keep damage increase for the Ronin, but for anything but Ronin, you should be running cooldown reduction on kill. This is crazy, because 4 seconds, this affects just this, right? Yeah, any kill affects the cooldown of this weapon. So you kill any enemy, so if you're in stealth assassinating things, you're wiping 4 seconds off the cooldown. Because Chain Vanish, you have 2 of that. You're assassinating squishies very, very quickly. And not necessarily squishies, some medium tanky guys like Crow Demons or the Shield Spear Oni. Like, not the purple ones, but the regular ones. You can get your kunai back extremely fast. And by the way, this also counts for the kunai kill. So that means you're getting a bare minimum of 19 seconds wiped off the kunai if you kill with the kunai. So you get your kunai back very, very quickly. So you throw the kunai to finish someone off. You get 19 seconds wiped off the kunai cooldown immediately, 15 seconds off everything else. You kill an enemy or 2 and you've gotten the kunai back. So that's why I say if you don't want to run melee damage, you could run cooldown reduction as well. It makes it so that you'd need like 1 less kill, so you can get your kunai back extremely fast, so you could throw it again, so you can get your stealth back, your ability, as quickly as possible. And it's also helping your smoke bomb as well. Speaking of the smoke bomb, that is the final ghost weapon. You have to run smoke bomb. There's no flexibility here because stealth attack damage, and because the smoke bomb opens up opportunities for you to do stealth attacks, and because stealth attacks are faster and quieter, that's more enemies that you can quickly kill that are staggered by the smoke bomb. But yes, of course, you're going to run stealth attack damage, definitely a must, because we need to stack that as much as possible. But if you roll a big number on this, like if you accidentally roll a cooldown reduction on kill that's like 3 seconds or more, so by all means keep it. You got lucky. I did not get lucky. I'm broke on honor. I don't want to try my luck. I stuck with 14.1%. That's a pretty high number. Now this, I would not actually recommend lucky. This is bad, but I'm broke on honor. I don't want to reroll this thing. I got a good stealth attack damage number. I'm happy, and this thing isn't a big deal. Here are your options. You could run munitions. Munitions will make it so that you can get a you can get more darts. You do use your darts, weaken dart, to help you secure assassination kills. If you run the hallucination dart, then this can help you get that back too. And you'll, for what it's worth, you'll get some poison darts back. But this isn't this isn't super essential. You don't need it. You can I mean I haven't been running it, and I haven't really been having serious dart issues. But you can run it. It's perfectly understandable. If you use your darts frequently, consider running this. If it's not good enough for you to be able to just get ammo around the map. Sudden Resolve is also worth mentioning because we are running the Super Strike perk. When you initiate a Nightmare Survival or Story or whatever, or a raid, I think the raid, actually, I didn't pay attention to it, your ability starts on full cooldown. So you're not going to be able to pop that. So your first way of initiating assassinations is going to be to well, sneak up, of course, but then after that, to pop your smoke bomb. You're going to pop your smoke bomb, and if there's, let's say you wanted to kill a Crow Demon right off the bat, you're not going to be able to because you're not going to have any resolve. So for what it's worth, Sudden Resolve would give you that first resolve on use. Because I haven't really had enough honor to test and see if I could consistently, like, get it in my rotation. Like, am I always popping the smoke bomb when I'm empty on resolve? But the thing is, like, you're only spending 1 resolve, and only when you need to, like when you need to assassinate a target for the double damage. So I mean, I don't think it's very often that I go down to 0 resolve. Sometimes I do, but I never ult. I just use that. Sometimes I do go down to 0 resolve. So I would say this only affects the beginning. But I mean, in relation to your other options, like if you're not having dart problems, I would definitely say take Sudden Resolve. You might get value out of it sometimes. It will definitely help you at the very start of a match, for sure. but otherwise take munitions. I hope you found this helpful. A lot of people have been asking for this, and it is finally here. If you like this video, please leave a like and comment. It does help out a lot. I do upload a new video every single day, so make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss out. I also stream daily on Twitch starting at 12 p.m. Central and ending at 4 p.m. Central, so make sure you follow me there to catch when I'm live. Link is in the description. But that's going to be it for tonight. Thank you for tuning in. Hope you had fun, and I'll catch you next time. That's freaking awesome. The spirit bear threw him off the edge. I love that.